gonna give away a free t-shirt, reveal the books I bought this week, and somewhere on this episode is a mystery pop-up segment. Where will it be? It's a mystery. How y'all doing? I'm Victor, and you are watching a Comic Hero show. Now kick that intro, bub! Hey everyone! Continuing my month-long celebration of the 50th anniversary of John Size X-Men #1 as part of my Summer of Superhero series, I'm also celebrating Nightcrawler. Now Nightcrawler, whose real name is Kurt Wagner, it's German, it's spelled Wagner, but it's pronounced Wagner. He of course made his first appearance in John Size X-Men #1 in 1975 and was created by Len Wein and Dave Cockrum. His hometown is Bavaria, Germany, and his mutant powers are teleportation, enhanced agility, flexibility and night vision, prehensile tail, ability to cling to surfaces, and camouflage in shadows. In addition to his mutant powers, he's also a superb acrobat, fencer, and hand-to-hand combatant. Now his team affiliations alongside being a member of the X-Men are Excalibur, which is X-Men Europe, and the Quiet Council of Krakoa. And his other aliases beside Nightcrawler are Spinnerman, Creepy Crawler, and Uncanny Spider-Man. Now the latter, he took up this mantle shortly after the fall of Krakoa because even though he was a wanted fugitive, as is all mutants that were living on the island of Krakoa, and then those that weren't living on the island of Krakoa, he still wanted to do some good. So he took up the mantle of the Uncanny Spider-Man alongside both the Peter Parker Spider-Man and the Miles Morales Spider-Man. So there you go. He's one of my favorite characters. And he's also appeared on a big screen. He was played by Alan Cumming in X2 X-Men United back in 2003. And really love this character. And I'm not the only one because this is a well-beloved character and has been for 50 years one of the more popular characters of the X-Men. Alright, this is a Nightcrawler Comic Hero tee. And if you would like one, you can find them on IamTheComicHero.com/shop for $20. I wasn't able to do an episode of the show last week. Had a lot of things going on. I did have time to go to Excalibur Comics, but that was it. I didn't really... that happens. Sometimes I have time to go to Excalibur Comics and buy comics, but I don't really have time to do the show. But there's the old saying, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Or in my case, I like to make lemon pie. Well, anyway, I'm going to go ahead and reveal those books right now. All right, here we go. First up is Absolute Green Lantern #3. Absolute Superman #8. All New Venom #7. The Amazing Spider-Man #5. Batgirl #8. Daredevil #22. Doctor Strange of Asgard #4. The Immortal Thor #24. JSA #8. Laura Kinney, Wolverine number 7. Radiant Black number 34. Red Hulk number 5. Secret 6 number 4. Spider-Gwen, the Ghost Spider number 14. Star Trek number 32. Ultimate Spider-Man Incursion number 1. Ultimate Wolverine number 6. And finally, X-Men number 17. Alright, that's 18, which brings the total number of comics that I've bought since December of 1997 to 13,748. Edition of the Comic Hero Show. I'm your host Victor Nunley, and I am the Comic Hero. The summer of superheroes continues, and on this episode, as part of my month-long celebration of the 50th anniversary of John Size X-Men number 1, I'm showing some love to the best there is at what he does, Wolverine. Now I'm going to touch base more on him later on, but for right now, it's time to give away a free t-shirt. Alright, last time I asked, who's the only original X-Man on the new roster in John Size X-Men number 1 in 1975? Well, the correct answer is Cyclops. And 8 people have answered correctly, and because they've answered correctly, your name's been entered in a drawing for a free tee. And that drawing takes place right now. So the winner of the free tee for this week's episode of the show is... Lynn Free from West Monroe, Louisiana. So congratulations, Lynn. Win yourself a free Comic Hero tee. Alright, here's the question for next week's episode, and every question this month has something to do with John Size X-Men number 1 or a character that appeared in John Size X-Men number 1. Alright, here's the question. Wolverine was the only new X-Man who did not debut in John Size X-Men number 1. What book did he make his first appearance in? Was it A, The Amazing Spider-Man, B, Captain America, or C, The Incredible Hulk? Alright, here's some hints. The first hint is that the main character of this book has been played on the big screen by Eric Bana, Edward Norton, and Mark Ruffalo. And then the second hint, and this is a really, really, really dead giveaway, especially if you're familiar with this character. The main character of this book was famously played on the small screen by Lou Ferrigno, and he later provided the voice of this character on both the big and the small screens. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. All right, with the link of the mystery pop-up segment that you saw earlier, I'm not going to feature a Throwdown Showdown segment or any question segment. I know y'all have gotten tired of me doing that, but hopefully, I will have a Throwdown Showdown segment. I have 2 of them lined up for future episodes. I'm going to use one of them next week. I'm going to feature another mystery pop-up segment, but it's not going to be that long, I promise. And I will have a mystery pop, I mean, not a mystery pop, but a Throwdown Showdown segment for y'all on next week's episode 527, and on episode 528, I'll have the Any Question segment. So with all that being, I know y'all get tired of that, but you know, it's just like I said in the mystery pop-up segment. You know, sometimes when life gives you lemonade, when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. Sometimes I make lemon pie. So, you know, you just have to make the best out of every situation. All right, so with all that being said, let's get to the comics I bought this week. Comic books I bought this week. All right, here we go. First up, it's Absolute Batman number 9. Action Comics number 1087. Aquaman number 6. Batman and Robin number 22. Exceptional X-Men number 10. Gotcha Man number 10. Green Lantern Corps number 5. Real excited about this one. The New Avengers number 1. Now keep in mind, this book was originally called New Thunderbolts number 1, but they decided to call it the New Avengers instead. It sounds familiar, kind of like the movie. One World Under Doom number 5. Phoenix number 12. Supergirl number 2. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 9. Trinity, Daughter of Wonder Woman number 1. Also excited about this one. Ultimate Black Panther number 17. And finally, Ultimate X-Men, number 16. All right, that's 15, which brings the total number of comics that I've bought since December of 1997 to 13,763. All right, well, I hope y'all enjoyed this week's episode. And here's a question again for a free tee for next week's episode of the show. Wolverine was the only new X-Man who did not debut in John Size X-Men number 1. What book did he make his first appearance in? Was it A, The Amazing Spider-Man, B, Captain America, or C, The Incredible Hulk? All right, here's some hints to help. The first hint is that the main character of this book was played on the big screen by Eric Bana, Edward Norton, and Mark Ruffalo. And then the second hint, the main character of this book was famously played on the small screen and then later voiced on the small and big screen by Lou Ferrigno. Everyone who answers correctly will be entered in a drawing for a free tee on next week's episode of the show. And congratulations to Lynn Free from West Monroe, Louisiana, won a free tee on this episode. Oh, by the way, I just want to go ahead and say this. You do not get bonus points for telling me the issue number. Just saying. All right, on this episode, it's all about the best there is at what he does, Wolverine. Now, Wolverine's real name is James Logan Howlett, and sometimes he's just known as Logan. And he was created by Len Wein, Herb Trimpe, and John Romita Sr. His hometown is Cold Lake, Alberta, Canada. And after he debuted in another book, he became an X-Man in John Size X-Men number 1 and quickly became one of the faces of the X-Men. Now, his mutant abilities are enhanced strength, stamina, durability, speed, agility, reflexes and senses, indestructible bones via adamantium, retractable adamantium claws, regenerative healing factor, and extended longevity. Now, his other skills, along with his mutant abilities, is that he's a master of various forms of combat and a skilled strategist and tactician. He's also a master martial artist. Now, some of the other team affiliations beside being a member of the X-Men is that he's the Avengers, the Canadian Army, the OSS/CIA, the Avengers Unity Squad, Alpha Flight, New Avengers, New Fantastic Four, the Secret Defenders, the Savage Avengers, Weapon X, X-Force, and the Sword Bearers of Krakoa. And then some of his aliases beside Wolverine have been Logan, Jeremiah Logan, Patch, Weapon X, Death, Mutate number 9601, Emilio Gara, Weapon Kai, Experiment X, Agent 10, Peter Richards, Mike Keth, Black Dragon, Captain Canada, Captain Terror, John Logan, Jim Logan, and most recently, when he bonded with the Spirit of Vengeance, Wolverine. I tell you, for someone that's only been around for 51 years, he sure has done a lot. I mean, you would expect that, if you're someone like Superman or Batman, but Logan's only been around since 1974. And he's done a lot. Just like Johnny Cash, he's been everywhere, man. But he's also been played on the big screen famously by Hugh Jackman. And then he's been voiced on the small screen by Cal Dodd, Scott McNeil, and Stephen J. Blum. But my favorite voice actor for Wolverine is none other than Cal Dodd, who played him in X-Men and the current revival series X-Men 97. And he's also voiced him in several video games. But he's one of my favorite characters, and he's also a favorite for a lot of people. So, cheers to Wolverine. All right, this is a Wolverine comic hero tee, and if you would like one, you can find them on imthecomichero.com/shop for $20. All right, here's the road ahead for the show. All right, the Summer of Superheroes rolls on next week's episode. I'm going to show some love to one of the original members of the X-Men, the only original member who stuck around when the X-Men were revived in 1975, Cyclops. And then on episode 528, I'm going to show some love to both the Sam Wilson and the Steve Rogers Captain America. And then on episode 529, in observance of the forthcoming movie, I'm going to show some love to the Man of Steel, Superman. And then eventually I'm going to also show some love to the Fantastic Four. I'm going to wear 4 Fantastic Four comic hero tees on one episode. But that's going to be near the end of July. But for the next two episodes between episode 529 and that episode, it's viewer's choice. If there's a superhero that I have not covered, I'm leaving it up to y'all. All right, and also meet me at the 10th annual GeekCon. It's at the Shreveport Convention Center on August the 22nd through the 24th. Oh, and I'm going to be a vendor there, and there's going to be some great guests and vendors. So, as Loretta Lynn would say, y'all come. Oh, and I have some good news and some bad news regarding GeekCon. Let me start off with the bad news. The bad news is that Alan Ruck, who started movies like Ferris Bueller's Day Off and Star Trek Generations, will not be attending GeekCon this year. That's the bad news, but here's the good news. Michaela Hoover, who is starring in the forthcoming Superman movie as Cat Grant, will be a guest at GeekCon. She was just added today. And even though I'm going to be a vendor there, I'm not going to be really able to go around and meet folks. I'm kind of excited to be part of it. So y'all come support me. Y'all support all the other vendors and the guests and the con as a whole. I mean, this is the 10th annual one. This is the first Comic-Con in North Louisiana. And speaking of the second Comic-Con, meet me at the second annual Louisiana Delta Comic-Con, which is at the West Monroe Convention Center on November 8th. Gonna have a lot of great guests there. And for all you wrestling fans, the Mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, is going to be a guest there. And I'm going to be a guest as well as my friend John Stout from Kettlebreyer Workshop, and then J&J Cosplays, and then my friend Shane Dyson, and then several others. So, y'all come. All right, if you're watching this for the first time on YouTube, welcome. And as soon as you're done, hit subscribe. If you're watching this on the East Texas Comic-Con Fans Facebook page, welcome. And as soon as you're done, go on YouTube and hit subscribe. If you're watching this on Louisiana Delta Content Creators Facebook page, welcome. And as soon as you're done, go on YouTube and hit subscribe. And if you're watching this on the Comic Book Lovers Facebook page, welcome. And as soon as you're done, go on YouTube and hit subscribe. All right, I'm Victor Nolly on the Comic Hero. I'll see you next week for episode 527. So until then, be safe, be blessed, be a hero, bub.